He sits on the deck of the destroyer, the last ship of his fleet burning on the horizon. He scans the faces of the other survivors, waiting for his comrades. But no one is coming. In that moment, the impossible weight settles on him. It's not just that his squadron is gone, it's that he is the only one left. June 4th, 1942, 10:22 a.m. 14,000 feet over the mid-Pacific. The cockpit of the A6M0 is a greenhouse. The air smells of hot oil, gasoline, and the pilot's own sweat. Below, the 4 carriers of the Kido Butai 1st Carrier Striking Forcier spread in a loose, arrogant box. They are the most powerful naval force on the planet. For Petty Officer First Class Tsuguo Yoshida, flying combat air patrol from the carrier Kaga, the morning has been chaos. He and his wingmen have been in the air for what feels like an eternity. Their throats are raw from shouting into their radios. Their ammunition counters are running low. They've spent the last hour swatting down American torpedo bombers, the SBD Devastators. They were slow, clumsy, and suicidal. Yoshida's 20mm cannons tore them apart. It wasn't a fight, it was an execution. He feels the cold satisfaction of a job well done. The Americans are fools. Now, finally, the carriers below are turning into the wind. Finally, the decks are packed. On his own ship, the Kaga, he can see the dark green Nakajima B, 5N bombers, Kates, and the sleek Aichi D-3A Val dive bombers. They are armed with torpedoes, refueled and ready to strike the American carriers that have finally been found. Yoshida checks his own fuel gauge. It's low. He'll need to land soon, but he must wait until the strike group launches. He's tired. He's thirsty. He's victorious. Then, the radio screams. It's not the calm vectoring of the flight controller. It is a shriek. Kyukoka! Kyukoka! Dive bombers! Yoshida kicks his rudder, banking the zero hard, his eyes scanning the blinding blue sky above him. Where? He's seen nothing. His cap has been focused on the torpedo planes at sea level. A fatal mistake, and then he sees them. They are not specks in the distance. They are here, now. Dropping like stones, silver glints in the sun, emerging from the one place no one was looking. American SBD Dauntlesses. He is too far away. He is at the wrong altitude. There is nothing he can do. He watches, frozen, a spectator to the death of his world. He watches a 1,000-pound bomb fall away from the lead SBD. It seems to take a lifetime. It is aimed at his carrier, his home, the Kaga. The bomb strikes the flight deck near the aft elevator, a dull, yellow-white flash. Almost instantly, a second bomb hits just forward of the island, plunging into the mass of planes waiting to take off. Yoshida knows exactly what is on that deck. He knows his friends are in those cockpits, engines running. He knows the ordnance carts are full. He knows the fuel lines are pumping. The Kaga does not just explode, it detonates. A column of fire and smoke erupts, punching 500 feet into the air. The explosion is so violent it rocks Yoshida's own plane, miles away. He sees the flight deck shatter, peeling upward like the lid of a tin can. He sees his comrades' Zeros and Kates tossed into the air like children's toys, burning. A massive, rolling fireball of aviation fuel engulfs the island. His radio is just static and screaming. Yoshida, in numb horror, tears his eyes from the Kaga and looks right. The carrier, Soryu, burning, hit, a pillar of smoke. He looks left. The flagship, Akagi, Admiral Nagumo's own ship, a Dauntless, is pulling out of its dive, and the Akagi's deck is a sheet of flame. It is 10:28 a.m. In less than 6 minutes, 3 of the 4 Karyoshi's entire world have been murdered. A cold, sick dread replaces his victory, his friends, his bunk, his meal waiting for him, his officers, all of them, gone, erased in a flash of American steel. The sky is full of Zeros, but they are rudderless. They circle the burning pillars, like angry, confused wasps whose nest has been set ablaze. Then, the single, terrifying thought common to every pilot still in the air cuts through Yoshida's shock. His fuel gauge is needle empty. His home is a funeral pyre. Where does he land? The cockpit is a coffin. Yoshida's fuel gauge needle isn't just low, it's resting on the E. He has maybe 15 minutes of flight left. Around him, the sky is a frantic circus of friendly aircraft. He sees Zeros, Vals, and Kates, all circling, all confused. They are leaderless. Their formations are shattered. The radio is a cacophony of desperate, panicked voices. Akagi! Akagi! This is Koyama. I cannot see you. Where are you? Soryu CAP, report, report. Anyone. I am out of fuel. I am ditching. A Zero from Soryu's squadron, its fuselage streaked with oil, wobbles, its engine sputtering. The pilot doesn't try to glide. He simply rolls the aircraft over and plunges into the dark blue water, 10,000 feet below. He doesn't want to survive. Yoshida watches it disappear. He is not alone. Dozens of pilots from 3 carriers are now airborne refugees, their homes disappearing in plumes of oily smoke that stain the sky. They are the survivors. For now. Then, a clear voice cuts through the static. All aircraft, steer 020. The Hiryu is untouched. I repeat, Hiryu is untouched. Land on Hiryu. The Hiryu, the flying dragon, commanded by Rear Admiral Taman Yamaguchi, the most aggressive admiral in the fleet. Of course, she was steaming further north, separate from the other 3. She had been missed. Like a scattered flock of birds, the Zeros, Vals, and Kates turn as one. They form a desperate, ragged line, a queue of death, all converging on the one remaining slice of sovereign Japanese territory in the middle of the Pacific. At that exact moment, another group of planes is approaching from the east. Lieutenant Michio Kobayashi, commander of the Hiryu's dive bomber squadron, is exhausted but exhilarated. His throat is sore from screaming, "Totsugeki! Charge!" As his Val plunged toward Midway Island, he put a 500-pound bomb right into an American hangar. It was a good hit. His radio operator is bleeding from a piece of shrapnel in his leg, but they are alive. They are returning heroes. Kobayashi scans the horizon for the Kido Butai. He expects to see the magnificent 4-carrier formation. Instead, he sees 3 towering pillars of black smoke. His blood runs cold. Navigator, check the heading. That cannot be us. That is a burning city. His radio operator, pale, turns the dial. He hears the same chatter Yoshida is hearing, the same panic, the same name. Hiryu! 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 Kobayashi's elation evaporates, replaced by a dread so profound it makes him nauseous. He is at the right coordinates. Those burning cities are the Kido Butai. He looks at his own fuel gauge. It, too, is dangerously low. He banks his Val, spotting the Hiryu steaming hard, its white wake a scar on the ocean, and he sees the swarm. At least 40 aircraft Zeros from Kaga and Akagi, Kates from Soryu, and his own returning strike force all trying to land on one flight deck, now. On the Hiryu's deck, it is pandemonium. The deck crew, who had been preparing their own strike, are now in a desperate race against time. They aren't just landing their own planes, they are landing the remnants of an entire fleet. Land him, push him. Flight officers scream, waving the landing paddles. A plane touches down, hook catching. Before it has even stopped rolling, deck hands are on it, pushing it bodily toward the elevator to clear the deck. Next! Another Zero comes in too fast, misses the wire, and slams into the barrier. The deck crew doesn't even wait for the pilot. They cut him out of the cockpit, douse the engine in foam, and shove the entire wrecked aircraft over the side of the carrier. There is no time. Yoshida, our Kaga pilot, is in this line. He's shaking. He's a Kaga pilot. He doesn't know this ship's landing signals. The Hiryu is smaller than Kaga. The wind feels different. He watches a Kaga Zero ahead of him, piloted by a friend, his engine finally quitting. The plane stalls 100 meters from the fantail and drops like a stone. It's over in 2 seconds. You are next, Yoshida mutters. He drops his landing gear. He lowers his hook. He follows the paddles, his eyes locked on the landing officer. Down. Left. Cut throttle. He hits the deck hard, the hook catches, and his body is thrown forward against his harness. He is safe. He cuts the engine. The sudden silence in his cockpit is deafening. A deckhand wrenches his canopy open and screams, "Get out! Get out! Run! We must launch!" Yoshida unbuckles, half falling onto the deck. The deck is slick with spilled fuel and foam. He stumbles to the island, collapsing against a bulkhead. Lieutenant Kobayashi lands his VAL perfectly, 2 planes after Yoshida. He climbs out, triumphant from his bombing run, and is grabbed by a deck officer. "Kobayashi, what did you hit?" "A hangar, sir. We hit them hard." The officer's face is a mask of grief and fury. "It doesn't matter. They sank the Akagi. They sank the Kaga and Soryu." Kobayashi's smile freezes. He looks around the deck. It's a refugee camp. He sees pilots slumped against the island, their faces black with oil and tears. He sees the red and white stripes on a Zero's tail, Akagi's markings. He sees the markings of Soryu. These men shouldn't be here. He spots Yoshida, a pilot he doesn't know, staring blankly at the deck, his helmet still on. Yoshida looks up, his eyes meeting Kobayashi's. In that moment, the reality sinks in for both of them. They are the only ones left. The hundreds of pilots, mechanics, and officers they had breakfast with are now burning or at the bottom of the sea. Yoshida, the Kaga pilot, looks at his hands. They are steady, but he is hollow. He survived. He looks at the other pilots. There are perhaps a dozen men from his entire carrier. A dozen. From the Hiryu's island, a new command blares over the loudspeaker. "All strike pilots, to the briefing room. We will counterattack. We will find the American carriers. We will strike back." The Hiryu's briefing room is stifling. It's packed with over 50 men, a compressed mass of adrenaline, grief, and sweat. The air hums with the thrum of the carrier's engines, straining at full speed. There are 2 distinct groups. There are the Hiryu pilots, like Lieutenant Kobayashi. Their faces are grim, their eyes burning with a cold, focused fury. This is their ship. The Americans have insulted them, and they will be punished. They sit upright, clutching their flight charts. And then there are the survivors. Petty Officer Yoshida, the Kaga pilot, slumps against the back bulkhead. He is a ghost. He and the other refugee pilots, a handful from Akagi, a few from Soryu, hollow-eyed, their uniforms stained with oil. Their world ended an hour ago. They are now being asked to fight for a world they no longer recognize. The door bursts open. Rear Admiral Taman Yamaguchi strides in. He is not a man. He is a force of nature. His face is pale, his eyes electric. He doesn't just look at his pilots. He bores into them. "They have sunk 3 of our carriers," he says, his voice low and guttural, cutting through the silence. "They have killed your comrades. They believe they have won." He slams his hand on the chart table. "They have not. The Kido Butai is not dead as long as the Hiryu floats and her pilots breathe. We are the first carrier striking force. We will find them. We will kill them." He stabs a finger at Lieutenant Kobayashi. "Lieutenant, your squadron is up. You will lead the dive bombers. We have a sighting from a scout plane. 1 American carrier, the Yorktown. You will find it, and you will send it to the bottom. Do you understand?" "Yes, sir," Kobayashi snaps, his voice sharp. "This is not a normal strike," Yamaguchi continues, his gaze sweeping the room. "This is revenge. This is Bushido. Do not return unless you have hit her. Every man, every plane, every bomb. Find her. Hit her." The Hiryu pilots roar. "Hi!" Yamaguchi's eyes find the survivors in the back. His expression doesn't soften. "You men from Kaga and Akagi, your ships are gone, your fight is not. Take your Zeros. Protect the Kates. The second wave will launch as soon as you are clear. You will avenge your brothers." For Yoshida, the words are like stones. Avenge your brothers. He feels nothing, not honor, not anger, just a vast, cold emptiness. He wants to sleep. He wants to go back to yesterday. But he is a warrior. His hands, he notices, are steady. He nods, slowly. "To your planes." The room explodes. Pilots scramble, strapping on helmets, grabbing life vests. Yoshida is swept up in the tide. He finds himself running with a Hiryu Zero pilot he's never met. "You, Kaga!" The pilot shouts at him over the roar of the deck. "You are with me! We are escorting the Kates for the second wave. Your plane is refueled. Fly on my wing. Do not get lost." Yoshida nods again, dumbly. His A6M0, tail code AII101, is waiting. The Kaga marking feels like a betrayal. He climbs in. The cockpit is familiar, but it is no longer home. It is just a machine. First, Kobayashi's strike must launch. The deck is a precise, frantic ballet. 18D3, Aval dive bombers, their engines coughing to life. Kobayashi is in the lead plane. He does not look back at the Hiryu. He looks east. He is a guided missile. One by one, they roar down the deck and lift into the sky. As the last Val clears the deck, the next wave is already being brought up on the elevator. This wave is different. It is 10B5N Kate torpedo bombers. This is the killing blow. Yoshida starts his engine. The familiar rumble does nothing to comfort him. He and 5 other Zerosa mix of Hiryu and surviving Kaga planes will escort them. The launch officer waves his flag. Yoshida pushes the throttle forward. His Zero leaps ahead, races past the island where Admiral Yamaguchi is watching, and lifts off. He banks, joining the formation. Below him, the Hiryu is a lonely, vital spearhead, pushing into the enemy. Around him are 5 strangers. Ahead of him are the Kates, carrying the long lance torpedoes, the best in the world. He checks his guns. They are loaded. His fuel is full. He has a mission. They fly east, into the vast, empty blue. Yoshida, the Kaga survivor, flies with them. He is the only man from his entire squadron left in the sky. He is a ghost, flying guard for a ship that is not his, to avenge men who are already dead. And he has a dreadful, certain feeling that he is flying toward his own grave. Lieutenant Michio Kobayashi, leading the Hiryu's first wave, tastes blood. A .50 caliber round has punched through the canopy, spraying his face with shards of metal and glass. His radio operator is slumped over, dead. It doesn't matter. Below him is the Yorktown. He had expected to find 3 American carriers. Instead, there is only one, protected by a ring of cruisers and destroyers. As his 18 Vals plunged from 14,000 feet, the sky erupted. The air was not empty. It was a solid wall of black flak puffs. American F-4F Wildcats, climbing like demons, tore into his formation, ripping his wingmen apart. He'd lost 6 planes just on the way in. Now, screaming down in a 70-degree dive, his ears popping, the Yorktown swells in his sights. He is a spear. He is the vengeance of Admiral Yamaguchi. His Val shudders, hit again. The engine is screaming in protest. He doesn't care. He will plant this 500-pound bomb himself. He ignores the tracers, ignores the pain. Tenno Heika, Banzai. He presses the release. The bomb drops clean. He pulls back on the stick with all his strength, the G-force stapling him to his seat. He barely clears the Yorktown's flight deck, his wingtip seeming to graze its radio masts. He doesn't see his own bomb hit. He sees the 3rd bomb, from his last surviving wingman. It smashes into the flight deck, a brilliant orange flower. Then another hits the smokestack, a black, concussive blast. His own? He doesn't know. The Yorktown is burning. It is listing. It is dead. Target hit. Target hit. He screams into his radio, his voice cracking. He coaxes his dying plane westward, toward home. He has done it. He has avenged the Kaga. 1 hour later, Petty Officer Yoshida, flying escort for the second wave, hears those triumphant calls. Carrier burning. We hit her. We hit her. A ripple of savage joy passes through the torpedo bomber formation. The Kates, led by the brave Lieutenant Joichi Tomonaga, are flying low, just above the waves. Tomonaga's own plane is a wreck, streaming fuel from a hit it took over Midway Island that morning. He chose to fly it anyway. Yoshida, the Kaga survivor, feels a flicker of something in his hollow chest. Hope. Maybe they can turn this. Maybe the day is not lost. They arrive at the coordinates, and their hope dies. The Yorktown is there. It is listing. It is smoking. But it is not sinking. The fires appear to be under control, and its escorts are not crippled. They are alert, their guns pointed at the sky, waiting. And high above, Glinting in the sun is the cap, a fresh swarm of wildcats. Tora! 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 Tomonaga radios, the signal to attack. Then he gives the order that is his own death sentence. All planes, charge. The 10 Kates drop to wave-top height, fanning out for a hammer and anvil torpedo attack. The 6 Zeros, including Yoshida, climb, turning into the American fighters. It is not a dogfight. It is a brawl. Yoshida finds himself on the tail of a wildcat. He is no longer empty. He is a machine of pure reflex. He fires a short, precise burst of his 20mm cannons. The American plane's wing shears off. It tumbles away. He has no time to watch it crash. 2 more are on him. He banks, diving into the AA fire of the American destroyers to shake them. Below him, it is a massacre. The Kates are slow. The American gunners are terrifyingly accurate. Tracers from every ship converge on the attacking planes. Yoshida watches, horrified, as the first Kate is hit, then the second. They don't just crash, they disintegrate in mid-air. But Tomonaga is unstoppable. His damaged Kate, leaking fuel, flies straight through the heart of the firestorm. He is so low, his propellers seem to churn the water. He is hit. His engine is on fire. He is still flying. He gets to 800 meters, jinks, and releases his torpedo. The long lance drops, a clean splash. Tomonaga does not try to escape. He has no fuel. His plane is a torch. He pulls up slightly and flies directly at the bridge of the American destroyer Astoria. He is a final, defiant insult. The plane is ripped to shreds by gunfire and crashes into the sea 50 yards from the ship. Yoshida screams in his cockpit. But the torpedo! Another Kate, also on fire, releases its fish. A column of water erupts from the side of the Yorktown. A hit, then a second column of water. A second hit. The Yorktown shudders violently, smoke pouring from its new wounds. It begins to heal over, its fate finally sealed. Of the 10 torpedo bombers, 5 are gone. Of the 6 Zeros, 2 are missing. But they have done it. They have killed the American carrier. Yoshida, his ammunition gone, his fuel low for the second time today, reforms with the survivors. He is trembling, no longer from shock, but from the sheer, violent exertion. They have won. It cost them almost everything, but they have won. He turns his Zero for home, back to the Hiryu, the last arc. As he flies west, he sees a formation of planes in the distance, to the north. They are high, very high. He squints. They are not Zeros, they are not Kates, they are specks, dozens of them, and they are all heading straight for the coordinates of the Hiryu. A new, colder dread grips him. He pushes his throttle to the firewall. He is too late. He is already too late. 4:45 p.m. Aboard the Hiryu. Lieutenant Michio Kobayashi, his face caked in dried blood, stands on the flight deck. His arm is in a crude sling, but he is smiling. He has just reported to Admiral Yamaguchi, confirming the Yorktown's destruction. He is a hero. The deck around him is a frenzy of determined activity. The last of the torpedo bombers, patched up and rearmed, are being brought up. Deck crews are wheeling torpedoes. They are preparing a third strike. A twilight attack to find the remaining American carriers and finish the job. The ship's loudspeaker blares, but it's not a victory announcement. It is a high, thin wail of pure panic. Enemy dive bombers, directly overhead, starboard side. Kobayashi looks up. His smile vanishes. They are here, just as they were for Kaga. The sky is full of them. SBD Dauntlesses, falling like black rain. He screams. It is a wordless, guttural roar of, "No!" He is wounded, a spectator. He tries to run for an anti-aircraft gun, but his legs tangle. He falls, helpless, as the first bomb screams. 10 miles out, Petty Officer Yoshida, his engine sputtering on its last fumes, sees the attack begin. He is out of ammunition. He is too far away. All he can do is watch. He sees the first bomb. It's a direct hit. It strikes the Hiryu's forward elevator. The 1,000-pound bomb plunges deep, and the resulting explosion is catastrophic. The entire 40-foot wide elevator platform is blown upward, like a coin tossed in the air. It flips over and slams directly into the front of the bridge, crushing men, shattering the glass, and likely killing Admiral Yamaguchi instantly. "Admiral!" Yoshida screams into his dead radio. He is not watching a battle. He is watching an execution. A second bomb hits mid-ship. It detonates in the hangar, which is packed with the planes, fuel, and bombs for the third strike. The Hiryu does not just burn, it explodes. A massive, rolling fireball engulfs the entire center of the ship. The chain reactions are instantaneous. Bombs cook off, their explosions ripping through the decks. Torpedoes, lined up for the strike, detonate, the force of their warheads tearing the ship's own guts out. On the deck, Lieutenant Kobayashi is picked up by the blast wave and thrown against a gun turret. His ears are ringing. The world is fire. The deck is gone, replaced by a gaping, molten hole. He sees men, their bodies alight, running from the flames, jumping over the side. He sees his own Val, his victorious plane, vaporized in the inferno. His vengeance, his victory, it all meant nothing. Yoshida, in his Kaga Zero, circles. He is a moth, drawn to a flame that consumed his entire world. He watches, in numb, static-filled silence, as the Hiryu, the flying dragon, the last arc of the Kido Butai, is broken and murdered. He sees the destroyers pull alongside, firing water cannons into an inferno that cannot be stopped. He sees the Hiryu list, smoke pouring from 100 new wounds. He flew from the Kaga. It died. He landed on the Hiryu. It is now dying. He is the sole survivor of his Kaga squadron. He is now a survivor of the Hiryu's refugee squadron. He is a man with no home, no admiral, no comrades. The realization is not a slow dawn. It is a physical blow, as real as the bombs hitting the ship. Kaga, Akagi, Soryu, Hiryu, all of them, gone. The entire first carrier striking force, the pride of the Empire, the force that had humbled Pearl Harbor and swept the Pacific, has been annihilated. It has been 9 hours. Yoshida looks at the 4 pillars of smoke staining the sunset, one for each carrier, a funeral pyre for 3,000 men, a grave for his friends. He looks at his own cockpit, the familiar instruments, the smell of oil. He is alive. Why? His radio, which had been silent, crackles. It's not a voice, it's a sputter. The engine, the needle on his fuel gauge, has been on 0 for 10 minutes. The engine coughs, catches, sputters again, and dies. The propeller, no longer driven by the engine, windmills, its speed slowing. The sudden, profound silence is terrifying. There is only the sound of the wind whistling past his canopy. Petty Officer, First Class Tsuguo Yoshida, is 10,000 feet above the Pacific. His home is a burning wreck below him. His comrades are dead. His ammunition is gone. His engine is silent. He is, in this moment, the only one left, and he is about to join his friends in the sea. Silence. The roar of the Sakai engine is gone. The chatter of the radio, the thunder of anti-aircraft fire, the screams of his comrade soul gone. All that remains is the high, thin whistle of the wind over his canopy. Petty Officer Yoshida is not a pilot. He is a glider. He has perhaps 3 minutes. His training takes over, a ghost moving his limbs. He holds the stick steady. He must not stall. A stall at this altitude means a fatal, flat spin. He must glide. His eyes scan the ocean, 10,000 feet below. It is a vast, wrinkled blue sheet, now turning purple in the twilight. He is looking for a ship, a destroyer, anything. There is nothing. The Japanese destroyers are clustered around the burning Hiryu, trying to rescue the men leaping from its decks. They are miles away. He is alone. He will have to ditch. He knows what this means. The A6M0, with its wide, light wings, is a dream to fly. It is a nightmare to ditch. Its light construction means it will shatter on impact. The heavy engine block will pull the nose down, and the entire plane will sink in less than a minute. He continues his long, agonizingly slow descent. 8,000 feet. He unlatches his canopy, pushing it back. The wind rips into the cockpit, screaming in his ears, tearing the helmet from his head. He doesn't care. If he crashes with it closed, the warped metal will trap him, and he will drown in his seat 7,000 feet. His mind, no longer occupied with flying, floods with the images. The Kaga, his home, its flight deck peeling back like a fiery lid. His friend Takeda, in the Zero next to him, stalling and vanishing into the sea. The Hiryu, its elevator flipping into the bridge, crushing the admiral. He sees the faces of his squadron, the men he ate breakfast with 12 hours ago. 30 men. All of them now cinders or bones drifting in the deep. And I am here. The realization is not relief, it is not pride, it is a profound, crushing guilt, a survivor's sickness. Why was he on Cap and not on the Kaga's deck? Why did his plane have enough fuel to reach Hiryu? Why did he escort the second strike and not the first? Why him? 4,000 feet. He is a ghost. He is already dead, a spirit floating down to join his ancestors. He has failed. The Kido Butai has failed. Japan has failed. He looks down. The Hiryu is a distant torch in the gathering darkness. A single column of smoke. The other 3 columns have faded. He is the only one left to see it. He is the witness. This is his curse. 1,000 feet. He banks the Zero, lining it up. He must land parallel to the swells, not across them. He corrects. The water is closer. It is moving fast. 100 feet. He cuts all his systems. He tightens his harness until it cuts into his shoulders. He puts his feet on the rudder pedals, bracing. The wind is a deafening howl. The tail of the Zero hits the water first. A fraction of a second later, the fuselage slams into the sea. It is not a landing. It is a car crash. The world stops. Yoshida's head smashes against the gun sight, blacking out his vision. The plane decelerates from 90 miles an hour to 0 in a single, catastrophic second. The shock is so violent, his harness rips his skin. Cold, black water is instantly everywhere. It rushes into the cockpit, a freezing, suffocating flood. He is underwater. The Zero is already sinking, nose down. He is trapped. He fumbles for the buckle, his gloved hands clumsy. The water is at his chest, his neck. He rips the buckle open. He pushes himself up, but his life vest is snagged on the throttle quadrant. Panic. Pure, animal panic. He is going to die here, strapped to his own dead machine. He tears at the vest, ripping the fabric. It comes free. He shoves himself up and out of the cockpit, his lungs bursting. He kicks. He kicks for the surface, for the last, fading light. He breaks the surface, gasping, choking, spitting salt water. He is alive. He is floating. He fumbles for the toggle on his vest and pulls it. The ksh of the CO2 cartridge is the loudest sound he's ever heard. The vest inflates, a yellow ring of life. He floats, alone, in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. He turns. His Zero, his last companion, is gone. It slipped beneath the waves, leaving only a small patch of oil. He looks around. The sun has set. The sky is a deep, bruised purple. The sea is black. In the distance, he sees the red glow of the Hiryu's funeral pyre. He is a single, living speck in an ocean of death. He is the only one left from Kaga Squadron. He has survived, and for the first time, he wishes he hadn't. The water is cold. It is a cold he had never imagined. It soaks through his flight suit, into his bones. The adrenaline of the ditch has faded, replaced by a deep, shivering exhaustion. Petty Officer Yoshida floats. The night is absolute. There is no moon. The stars, usually his navigation points, are just a cold, indifferent spray of diamonds. His world is reduced to the 3-foot circle of his own buoyancy. He bobs on the black swells, a piece of living debris. His only companion is the Hiryu. Miles away, the ship is no longer a ship. It is a torch. It burns with a terrible, pulsing orange light. He watches, mesmerized. Every 20 minutes, a new, massive explosion rips through its hull as the fire finds another magazine or torpedo room. A shower of red sparks flies into the sky, illuminates the smoke, and then fades. He is the only one watching. He is the Kaga's witness. He is the Hiryu's witness. He thinks about Lieutenant Kobayashi, the Hiryu pilot he'd seen in the briefing room, the man whose face was lit with vengeance. He is dead. He thinks about Admiral Yamaguchi, the man who would not accept defeat. He is dead. He thinks about his bunkmate from Kaga, the man he shared a joke with this morning. Dead. His entire world, the 10,000-man Kido Butai, is gone. He is the last remnant. Hours pass. Or maybe it's minutes. Time has dissolved. He is delirious, his teeth chattering uncontrollably. His limbs are numb. He is so tired. It would be so easy to stop fighting, to let the water take him, to sleep. He is dozing, his chin on his chest, when a sound cuts through the whistle of the wind, a low, mechanical thrum. He lifts his head. His neck screams in protest. It's a sound, a ship. He squints into the blackness, his heart hammering. Is it American? Come to finish the job? The final, bitter irony. A shape detaches itself from the darkness. A low, grey silhouette. A destroyer. It's Japanese. He can see the unique rake of the smokestacks against the fading glow of the Hiryu. Here! His voice is a raw croak. He has no flair. He has no whistle. He has only his voice. Here! I am here. Kaga pilot. He waves his arms, splashing. It's useless. They are 500 meters away. They are searching for Hiryu survivors, not a lone pilot. The ship is sliding past him. No, wait! Please! I am here! A light, a searchlight, stabbing the dark. It sweeps the water, finds a cluster of Hiryu survivors in the water, and moves on. It sweeps past Yoshida. Here! The light swings back. It finds him, catches him, and pins him. He is blinded, a rabbit in the glare. He hears shouts from the ship. The thrum of the engines changes as it slows. Minutes later, a rope net is thrown over the side. Rough hands grab the collar of his flight suit. He is too weak to climb. He is just a dead weight. They haul him up the steel hull, over the railing, and dump him onto the deck of the destroyer Makigumo. He collapses, coughing, vomiting seawater. The steel deck is the most beautiful thing he has ever felt. A pilot, a sailor says. Get him a blanket. Someone throws a rough wool blanket over his shoulders. He is shaking so violently he can't hold it. What ship? A voice asks. An officer. Yoshida, he chatters. Petty Officer First Class, Kaga, 0 pilot. The officer's face, lit by a dim red battle lantern, is grim. He doesn't say, the Kaga is gone. He doesn't have to. How many Kaga pilots did you see? On Hiryu, the officer asks. Yoshida tries to count. Me? Takeda? He crashed. Maybe 10? 12? We landed. We fought. The officer nods, his face unreadable. Rest. We are looking for the Admiral. Yoshida sits, slumped against a depth charge mount. For the next hour, he watches. The Makigumo pulls more men from the water. They are Hiryu men. Their faces are black with oil and burns. Some are screaming. Some are silent. He sees a man he recognizes. A Hiryu mechanic. Kobayashi-san? Yoshida croaks. The dive bomber, the lieutenant? The mechanic just stares at him, his eyes dead. Gone. The bridge, the Admiral, all gone. Yoshida pulls the blanket tighter. He waits. He is waiting for the other Kaga men, the ones who landed on Hiryu with him, the Zeros that flew escort. Where are they? He scans the deck. All Hiryu uniforms. He watches the water. Every man they pull up is from the Hiryu. At 5 a.m., the order is given. The Hiryu is too damaged. She will not be saved. The destroyer fires its torpedoes. Yoshida stands, holding the rail, and watches as the last ship of the Kido Butai, his last home, is scuttled by its own side. He watches the flying dragon finally, fatally, slip beneath the waves. The Makigumo turns, its grim work done, and steams northwest, back to Japan. Yoshida is taken below decks. They give him hot tea. He sits at a mess table, surrounded by the Hiryu's survivors. They are strangers. He looks at their faces, and they look at his. In that moment, the final, impossible weight settles on him. It's not just that his squadron is gone, it's that no one else is coming. There are no other destroyers picking up other Kaga pilots. There are no other life rafts. Takeda is dead. The others who flew with him, they were shot down, or they ran out of fuel, just as he did. But they were not found. He, Tsuguo Yoshida, is the only one. He is the last pilot of the Kaga's legendary Zero Squadron. He did not just survive Midway. He has been left behind by death. He looks down into his empty teacup. He is 400 miles from home. He is a veteran pilot in a fleet that no longer exists. He is utterly, completely, and terrifyingly alone. He is the man who must go home and tell them what happened, because he is the only one left who can.